All right, so this is the end of Unit 3. We are on Lesson 15. We're going to be finding this percent of that. So let's solve percent problems like a pro. That's what we'll be doing today. So you're just listening in the beginning of this. To find 49% of a number, we can multiply the number by 49 over 100 or 0.49. So remember that when you see 49 over 100, that really just means 49 divided by 100. That's what that fraction means. And if you were to divide those, you would get 0.49. So you can multiply whatever's going on by 0.49. Now, if you were trying to find to find 135% of a number, we would multiply 135 by 100. So remember, if you put in a calculator 135 and you divided that by 100, your calculator would show you 1.35. So if you were looking for the 135% of any number, you would multiply it by 1.35. And then again, to find 6% of a number, we can multiply that number by 6 over 100. Well, 6 over 100 just means 6 divided by 100. And if you type that in a calculator, your answer would be 0.06. So to find 6% of any number, you would multiply by 0.06. Okay, so what they're trying to kind of generalize for you in this one is you basically can just take the percent, divide it by 100, and then multiply it by whatever you're asked to do. And that's a simple way of solving percent problems. So disregard what that says about the page 111. That's not correct. You're in your book now on page 80. So that's where we're starting up as on the video. So on page 80, we're talking about audience sizes. So it says a school held several evening activities last month. A music concert, a basketball game, and a drama play, and literacy night. The music concert was attended by 250 people. That 250 is going to be important from here on. How many people came to each of the other activities? So here is the trick. Whenever you have a percent, what you should do is you should make that percent a decimal. So remember that you were taught that technically speaking, your decimal as a percent sits right here. So to find a decimal, you would move it over to the left. So 30% as a decimal is actually 0.30. And now you're going to take that decimal and you're going to divide it by everything that it says. So in our scenario, it would be 0.30 times the crowd, which was 250. And your answer would be 75. So the important skill to know is how to change a percent to a decimal. Once you know how to do that, you just multiply that. So let's try it again for number 2. Same exact scenario, but the attendance of the drama play was 140%. So remember, when you have a percent, your decimal is technically there. So you move it over to the left, which becomes 1.40. So then you're going to multiply that by the total number of people. So multiply that by 250, and your answer is 350. So there were 350 people who were seeing the drama play. And then we have another one here. So now we want to know literacy night. Well, that was 44% of the attendance. So again, 44 as a percent, your decimal's right here. So you move it over to the left, right? And that equals 0.44. And then you're going to take that percent, the 0.44, and multiply it to the total 250. And your answer is 110. So the literacy night had 110 people. So that's just an easy trick to solving percents. So now we're talking about a sale. You know what a sale is. And we're on page 81 for this one. says everything's on sale. So during a sale, every item, in a store is 80% of its regular price. So again, I did the little scenario for you. So 80% as a percent, your decimal's there. You want to move it over 2 to the left, and that's how I got the 0.8. So it could be 0.8 or it can be 0.80. Same thing, it doesn't matter. I used 0.8. So if the regular price of a t-shirt is $10, what's the sale price? So you would do this 0.8 times 10. And I got $8. That's what you would pay for the sale item. Okay, now we have a little chart that you're filling in for number 2. The regular prices of 5 items are shown. Find the sale price. So every single one of these is going to be multiplied by 0.8. So down here, I showed you how to work them out, right? So I have 80% or 0.8, right? So I'm doing 0.8 times 1, and then you're going to fill in right there where it's orange. So you would get 0.8. So now if I did 0.8 times 4, I would get 3.2. If I did 0.8 times 10, I would just get 8. If I did 0.8 times the $55, I would pay 44. And if I did the 0.8 times $120, it would be 96. So you're writing everything that you see in the orange column. So all of those answers is what I want on your notes, please. Okay, and then this is going to be the end of it. So you found 80% of many values. Was there a process you repeated over and over? And the answer is yes. We multiplied by 0.8, right? So we multiplied by that 80%. So remember, 80%, that should be percent, is the same as 0.8, right? And you've learned that. All right, and on this last one, it says, select all the expressions that could be used to find 80% of X. Now, X can be any number, 150, $1, $8, it doesn't matter. Which one of these, and I will tell you that there are multiple, would help you solve 80% of that number is what we're looking for. So I want you to circle that one. This would be 8 divided by 100 times whatever number. The other one is this one. Remember that 8 over 10 is the same as 8 over 100. Same thing. 4/5, same thing. That is 8/10 reduced, right? So that's just dividing each of those by 2. And the other one, which is the one that I use, I used it over and over again, is this one right here. I like to change it to a decimal and then use that with the percent. To me, that's the easiest way, and I can use a calculator. When you're using fractions, it's not as easy to use a calculator. So in summary, real quick, how do you find the percent of a number? How could you find 32% of 500? The answer is you would do 0.32 times 500. That's what you would do. How do you find the percent of any number? Well, the answer is I would change it to a decimal. And when we change it to a decimal, that's this, right? And then I would multiply it to X. So you would change it to a decimal and then multiply it by whatever number you're given. So you're going to come back to the meet and get to work on the next part.